Hi everyone, I'm Adam Wheeler, the Artistic Director of TasDance, and I'm here with...
Jenni Large. I'm one of the creative associates at TasDance.
And what is your role on this new work coming out?
My role is choreographer and performer of Body Body Commodity. The work, I guess, is a choreographic analysis of the experience of being a woman and the impacts that consumerism and capitalism have on a feminine experience or the feminine body. Yeah, I think that's something I'm super interested in all of my works as a through line at the moment is this, I guess, the power dynamics of sex and sexuality and how the role or the position of the performer can be a position of power where just with your gaze, and the gaze is something that I really am exploring at the moment, you can direct and subvert attention and story tell with such small nuances. And I'm really interested in kind of welcoming the audience to be a voyeur of the performers.
Yeah.
But also critiquing what that relationship is. It began with a desire to make, actually, and I didn't have any underpinning conceptual motives. I just wanted to get in the studio, and it started as a duet, and I knew that I wanted some stuff to be in relation to, and I found a bag of foam offcuts, and I was like, oh, this is cool, this is interesting, it's light, it's durable, it's squishy, it's like padding, there's a lot of opportunity to manipulate it and animate it. We started developing ways of interacting with the foam, and from there, the concepts and the sort of political ideas of the work were then kind of revealed to me. So yeah, I realised that I wanted to have heaps of foam to work with. And then when we got heaps of foam, we realised that it was such laborious work moving the foam. And even though it's light and it's kind of playful, looks kind of like a kid's toy, the effort required to move it, even just from the left side of the stage to the right side of the stage, is very taxing. But I kind of love this alignment of the effort and the labour that is required of the body, because I think that's really mirrored in the concepts and the politics of women enduring so much. I think it was pivotal for me to have the object, like have something other, so that the women in the show can be in relationship to other, as we are so often perceived as other.
Tell us about the team.
The amazing team of Body Body Commodity. So we have 5 glorious dancers: Amber McCartney, Ashley Musk, Georgia Rudd, Erin O'Rourke, and myself perform alongside Anna Whitaker, who is sound designer, composer extraordinaire, and she works live on stage with us. So Anna is set up in the space with all her tools and gadgets, including microphones, her soundboards, and some looping systems. So during the show, there are a few key moments where the dancers connect with Anna and give, I guess, input into the microphones, and then Anna uses that input throughout the show and manipulates music and sound design that she has already created with the live input. Costumes were designed by Michelle Boyd, and we wanted to, I guess, accentuate the body so that the form of the body is really visible. But I was also interested in camouflaging with the foam, with the set.
to keep going. It's going really well so far, team.
It's going really
I
well.
just want to adjust this. Is that all right? How many pieces of foam do you reckon there are?
Well, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gosh, good question. Thousands?
Yeah,
I don't know.
easy.
And we have some feature pieces.
Ooh.
You know, like there are a few, it kind of looks a bit like mess, but there are a few, you know, chosen ones
Yeah.
that we know the kind of dimensions specifically, and there's specific acts that like interact with them in specific ways. So, yes, as laborious as the foam is, we also are very attached to certain pieces. Yeah, I work, I would say, mostly with improvisation as a starting point. But there are highly choreographed sections in most of my works and in this show. What I tend to do is kind of bring the material, so the objects, but also conceptual material, into the room, and we'll begin kind of unpacking things in a cerebral way through discussion and maybe sharing personal experiences or just thinking about all of the things in a kind of verbal brain way. And then as a group we will set up some parameters for improvisation that probably include maybe like randomly chosen specific parameters, like, okay, the foam's going to be upstage corner, we're going to use this specific sound palette that Anna's designed, and let's see where that takes us. So kind of priming the collaborators with the conceptual material and the thinking through discussion, and then setting up a few ways in which the space could exist and how we might engage with the foam, and then just letting it happen. There's a tool, I guess, that gets repeated, which I really enjoy, which is setting up the expectation of a certain thing and then subverting it. So we do that a few times within the work, and that like edge point where as a performer your internal experience, you're like crossfading into the next thing and like letting the audience come with you from like we were in the happy playpen and now, you know, we're somewhere else. Those moments are just like I don't know, freaky and tenuous and nerve-wracking and feel very alive.
What does it mean to make work here in Lucha Witter?
It means a lot, because I recognise that my voice as an independent contemporary dance maker is one of very few. So I guess I feel a responsibility in that, but I also feel there is a privilege of having so much space around me in my practice that I can maybe choose when I don't want to be so influenced and try and forge my own path.
What can audiences expect from this work?
I think that audiences can expect to experience a high energy, visceral dance and sound piece that will confront them at times, and hopefully leave them considering their place in the world and their relationship to the women in their lives.
And how have audiences responded so far?
Yeah, I think when we did our premiere season, I was really delighted to hear responses that were quite emotional, and people were quite moved. I think, you know, when you're in the creative process and I think maybe for me too, I make work that has real personal resonance. So I feel like I'm thinking about these things and analysing and digesting my own experience all the time, and maybe sometimes I can be a bit more of the critical place of that, the critical mind of that. But when we were receiving feedback about the work when we first premiered it, I was really delighted that it had a really emotional response from people. see Body Body Commodity at the Burnie Town Hall on the 10th of September. And you can also see Body Body Commodity at the Theatre Royal in Nipaluna, Hobart on the 13th and 14th of September.
Get your tickets now.
Get your tickets now.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Amazing.
Here we go.